waiting for a few people to get on. So I don't like too much silence or too much delay. Just a quick video. I hope everyone is doing okay out there, or better than okay, and getting better than that. So I wish that for you, and I'm sending you tons of good-ass energy now. So I'm Peter Mills. Used to be Fire Retire Guy, still doing that, but I'm now kind of rebranding to Fire Finance Guy, FFG. And my most recent website is, I run a company called California Seniors Network. California Seniors Network. There'll be a link in the description. You can go down and check it out. I got a bunch of quoters on that website, basically offering different kinds of life insurance. So these days, life insurance is, there's a ton of people out there that offer it. I'm a broker, so I have over 100 carriers just in the state of California that I'm able to contract with and offer their products, which means I can get you the lowest prices allowed by law. So even if you have coverage, some kind of coverage, I can always take a quick look at it, see if I can save you money or keep you paying the same amount and increase your coverage. Now, a lot of people don't know, if they have like a 20-year life insurance plan and they've been paying it for 10 years and they go, well, I don't need it, I've got a 20-year plan. We only have 10 years left, just so you know, because you already went through the period of 10 years. So you now have a 10-year term left on your 20-year plan if you've been paying for it for 10 years. So especially if you're in good health, you may want to extend that or replace it with something that's 20 years from now, which would be a good thing because you're living longer than you expected. The other thing is, during this time, people are more conscious and aware that things can happen. Unfortunately, because of what's going on, hopefully no one you know of or directly close to you has been affected by the COVID-19 virus. And if they have, my condolences. But if you are aware of that, or if someone that just died suddenly, unexpectedly, accidentally around you, you do know that there are costs that come up rather quick. Obviously, funeral expenses, and then as well as bills if that person was a breadwinner or one of the income makers of the household. So this quick video was really going to be, sure, I'm plugging myself. You can see the link down there. Go get free quotes. If you email me, I will send you a quote for free. I'll just put a few more parameters so the quote is accurate. A lot of people just say, send me a quote, email me something, but it doesn't really matter without putting in the qualifications, because if I put in $50 a month, $20 a month, $10 a month, I have plans that are that low. Or if you get a plan that's for like your whole household, it's like $150, or like a retirement one that covers your estate, that's, you know, a couple $100 a month or more, or 300, 400, whatever you want, you know. If I just give you those numbers, it's not related to the actual coverage, because I could tell you, yeah, it's $5 a month, but I'm going to give you $50,000 of coverage. That's all you're going to get, and that might be what you need. But so I'm also this is a public service announcement. So if you deal with insurance agents, or people have been calling you, especially these days, because almost all the insurance now, because we're not visiting people, can be done over the phone. A lot of agencies, brokers like myself, they used to think that you have to go to the person. It's still that kind of business, because you want to give yourself that personalized service to your clients. You want to sit in front of them. You want to let them know that you're there, that you're going to assist them throughout the process, and then help them even afterwards, down the line. Service their policy. If they have questions, well, can I use it for this? This just happened. It was tragic. Can I use this? Yeah. So a lot of agents and brokers and companies expected people to still be doing face-to-face sales. And that's been thrown out the window. I've been doing phone apps for a while. Telesales. So I work with a lot of companies where all the applications are either over the video, like a face video, like a Zoom presentation or a Skype, or it can be done just over the phone. So there's no more medical visits, no more blood draws. I'm not going to be knocking on your door trying to see if you're there. It's all done over the phone, and or if you want over a video conference, typically like this, where you can screenshot and you'll be able to see exactly what I'm quoting you, so you can go along with it, and then whatever option you like, you can pick. Anyway, so the public service announcement that I wanted to talk about in general for other agents and other agencies and that type of thing is that a lot of times where was my train of thought with that? I didn't even write notes. I don't do anything scripted because I'm giving you the real me. I don't have notes anywhere. I mean, I've got like inspirational stuff on my wall. I can't even show it to you because my phone's down here. But so I have. What I was going to say was, if anyone's ever heard me talking to prospects about insurance, sometimes I do get a little bit assertive. And I wanted to explain that. So if people see this video and it resonates with them, feel free to give me a like, because it puts it out there in the YouTube world and it gets my message out to people too. Feel free to run yourself a quote as well. Website down below, CaliforniaSeniorsNetwork.com. Email with that also. So the reason why I get assertive on the phone with life insurance sales is not necessarily, it's not because I'm fighting for a sale. I mean, I have so many leads right this second I can call. I can't call them all. I can't get to them. Some people won't want it. Some people won't want to talk to me. But I have an unlimited amount of leads that I have, period, monthly. I won't even run out. It's sifting through them to get someone that, no, I was looking, and right now is a good time. I really need to know about this. It's sifting through to get to the people like that. So those come around, but I wanted to give this message out. So a lot of times, if you think that an insurance agent or an insurance broker is harassing you or kind of pushing you to get something, now if they're pushing you outside of your budget, that's one thing. I don't do that. I look at the options that are available, what you qualify for, and then I look at the budget and I try to fit them all together. I won't let you go out of that range if there's some program or a policy or plan that you want and it's too much money because maybe of a health issue that you have, or if just the finances don't make it and you want that coverage, but it's too much, I'm not going to let you, I'm not going to recommend it at all. In fact, I might even downscale and say that, so for example, a lot of people get mortgage protection insurance. So their house is worth, let's just call it $400,000. Now it's California, so it's probably $600, but let's just go $400 for some easy numbers. A lot of people want insurance coverage for that amount. And then a lot of people I talk to, because of course obviously my website is California Seniors Network, I talk to a lot of senior citizens. Senior citizens already have medical conditions in place, medications, maybe they've had major surgeries, maybe they've had cancers and recovered. So they are a lot more higher cost of insurance to cover. So a $600,000, well, we were going to use $400,000. A $400,000 mortgage that they wanted to protect with life insurance is going to be at a very high rate for, say, a 65-year-old. It may not make sense for them to get $400,000 of coverage to protect their house so their family can stay in it when they die. It may not make sense to be trying to write them up a plan that says, okay, because of your medical history, because of your diabetes, hypertension, your 4 medicines here, and the surgery you had on your knee, it's going to be $600 a month. I'm not going to, depending on the situation, recommend that to that client because of their budget. Their fixed budget might not cover it. I'm not going to put them in hot water. And in fact, what I would do with them is I'd probably suggest a plan where let's figure out what we call a critical gap period, where say that you're expecting that their spouse would survive. So it's a couple, say they're 65, 70 years old, and you're putting coverage on one of the people in the couple. The $400,000 policy amount is going to cost too much because of all the medical conditions. So let's just get them a $50,000 policy or a $100,000 policy, and instead of getting them the options of $400 a month, $600 a month, let me find them something for $50. Let me find them something for $60 that's well within their budget, that will still give them that amount. So what happens if you don't know how life insurance works? It's triggered by an event, obviously, such as death, but it also can have living benefits. So a policy may include things like critical illness, loss of income. So especially during these times, it will kick out a certain amount of money. And when that money comes out, it's tax-free. It goes directly to you. Also, in the event of death, it's also tax-free. It goes directly to the beneficiary. And that money is used however you want. So say if you have $100,000 coverage for your $400,000 house and your spouse dies, it's inevitable. So now you get that $100,000 check, tax-free. You don't have to go immediately to your bank and pay down the mortgage. You can now at least do the things you need to. Now you might be in mourning. You may have to downsize or something like that. You may have to recalibrate. But you have $100,000 in cash that you can now just start paying the bills off. How much time did that $100,000 buy you? Now we calculate that too. Usually that buy me was at 18 months, 2 years. Could you put it into something like an annuity where you have a guaranteed payment for life? It's at a fixed rate of return. There's so many different options. So we answer those questions for you. I work with seniors directly, but that's the gist of it. So the thing is, that's called a critical gap period. So the period after someone dies, you may not want to go back to work right away. You may not be able to, especially if there's a situation like this with COVID-19. So it's hard for you to keep your income. Well, how do you keep paying the bills? Well, screensaver went on. It is still tied to a life insurance policy. So you get that paid out, and then you use that money as you need. It's basically now a savings account for you to use as you need it. So you pay your bills out, stay on time with the things you want to stay on time with, and then also use it for the necessities you need, like the utilities and food and clothes, stuff like that. Medical costs. That's what that's for. Anyway, I went way off my topic. So the thing I was saying is, if you hear a life insurance agent or a broker or a company and they're being a little assertive with you, the reason why I do it is a lot of times in this scenario, let's say I'm talking to the male of a household, the spouse, the male, the husband. That's not always how it is, of course, but I'm just using this as a scenario, not because it's more common, but I mean, it is a little bit more common, but usually it's not in my house. I wear my pants, but my wife picks them out. So I do make decisions, but she picks out the decisions for me. Anyway, so let's say I'm talking to one of the people of a couple relationship, okay? And the person that's going to make the decision and say, we're going to get this, with this insurance, I don't know if we need it. Sometimes I get assertive because I'm not fighting for the sale. That's what I was going with by saying I have an unlimited amount of leads I'm calling. I'm not fighting for the sale. I mean, sure, I would like to have the sale, would like to be able to help that family, blah, 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 blah. But beside all that, I'm actually fighting for the people that are on that policy, that are unspoken for, that you don't think of it that way. So if a typical family that has a husband and a wife and, say, a couple kids, I'm not trying to tell the husband, well, you need to get some kind of coverage. You don't have any kind of coverage at all. I don't care that you're 30. Okay, you could accidentally get hit by a car on the freeway. What happens to the people that are left? How are they paying for the house if you were the main breadwinner? Are they going to be able to stay in it? Do they have to move immediately? Do the kids have to start washing cars on the weekend? That's why I push, because I'm not fighting for a sale. I am fighting for the people that the policy is for. I'm fighting for the kids. In case something happens, I'm fighting for the spouse, so that they don't have to struggle to maintain that lifestyle that they had. Who wants to do that? People do it all the time. It's sad to say. You see GoFundMe pages for funerals. And as much as I'm biased toward life insurance, I can't help it. It's like a reverse loan to me, the way I describe it. So I have 1,000 kinds of insurance on myself and my family. Everything is paying out a little bit of monthly amount here and there, and they get paid back to me based on certain circumstances or events when they happen. But I'm paying into them almost like a forced savings account, but they have other benefits. Such many of mine lost no money in the stock market. I don't mean to be too controversial. I'm sorry if you did. But most of my investments lost zero. In fact, gained, because I have a floor of interest on mine of, say, 0.75%. which is more than you get in a savings account these days, or even a CD. So, in fact, I made money when everything else in the market went down because it was tied to insurance. It was an indexed fund. So there's a lot of questions out there. If you don't know about insurance, you should get educated. Don't only talk to me. You can send me emails. You can reply, comments. I will get back to you as soon as I can. I am available. You can go to my website. Of course, I'm pushing just quotes. Go ahead and get quotes. To be honest, here's what happens. When you run a quote on my site, it raises me higher in the search engines, because the longer time you stay on my site, the more Google is like, oh, this is relevant, this is relevant, this is relevant. The robots. So if you wouldn't mind, if you're interested, you can always get a quote. It doesn't tie me to you. You can get my newsletter if you want, whatever you need. But I'm not going to be hounding you. In fact, I'm not even, unless you send in the contact form that says contact me now. I'm not going to contact you now. Okay, so you can run quotes. It doesn't lock anything in our system to where you're obligated to something at all. Obviously, if you didn't know that. But please go ahead, run some quotes. Don't look at my guest room here. This is one of the extra rooms in my house. I got a day bed in there, and it's got a bunch of stuff on it. So anyway, Peter Mills, Fire Finance Guy. Take care. Wish you well. Stay well with your families. Good night.